Alrighty, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Greater Than 0%. Today we have another unique guest because we have not interviewed many founders of organizations that are still in high school. So really excited to hear a lot about the passions and the mission of Chess for Trees. But we have Raghav Aggarwal, who is the founder and the president of Chess for Trees. So Raghav, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is a great opportunity for me, so I'm like great. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, but let's get into it. What is the mission first of Chess for Trees? It sounds like it's in the
Y-
name, but I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, yeah, it is in the name. So chess trees is basically like this idea of taking chess beyond the board. So not just like playing the game, but like creating a community that extends beyond just playing. So that's like comes within the aspect of planting trees. So basically, you want to do like basically hit two stones with like, or hit two birds with one stone, and that's like first more chess opportunities for young people, and at the same time, help the environment by planting trees through the money that we raise. So I guess a bit more of context for like non-chess players, so they could better understand is like chess tournaments, chess coaching, all these things obviously have like fees associated with them. And so we basically use those fees to then plant trees and do other environmental initiatives. So yeah, I guess that's in essence what Chess for Trees is really about. And I guess it is really in the name.
Yeah, no, that's such a great
Yeah.
idea and a great and simple logical connection of things
Yeah.
to work on. So, why you? Why is this something that you, as somebody in high school, is like, I want to make a change. I want to impact, have a bigger impact. What sparked it? What sparked this idea for you?
Yeah. I think I read this book about like in ninth grade. So this is like when I started Chess for Trees. It's a book called Ikigai. So, and I think people might have heard of this concept, but it's basically like what you should do in life is combine what you're good at, what you love, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. For me, in my case, I didn't care too much about like what can I be paid for because I was only in high school. So like when I read this book, I was like, okay, I need to like try to like I guess put this in practice and like see how it goes in a way. And for me, chess, I've been playing since second grade, so it's been like, I think I'm pretty good at it. And then in like eighth grade, I started helping out at my local chess tournaments in like Austin, where I'm from. So I had like experience of hosting tournaments. And so I guess I sort of like check mark like do something that you're good at. So for me, it was like I'm good at chess. Like I know how to host
Yeah.
tournaments. And then the part of what do you love? Like I think I sort of love like just entrepreneurship, the idea of it, starting things. And so that's like where the sort of the nonprofit part of it came together. And then what the world needs for that was like the environment, trees. And I think trees specifically was the thing I chose. It just like I guess more like innate for me, like trees just made so much sense. And so I sort
Yeah.
of was like, okay, I need to combine all these three things, and that's where I stumbled upon the idea of chess for trees. And then like now looking back of like I started thinking about chess for trees, I think August 2020. So it's been three and a half years almost. So
Yeah.
like now looking back, I feel like it's really the concept is like really like has merit to it of like if you really combine something that you're good at and you love and something that you're passionate about that the world needs. I think like it could take you a lot of places, and I think that's what happened with me. So that's sort of like how I started with chess surgeries. So yeah, just a combination of experience and like mindsets.
Yeah, and applying the ikigai in real practice, like you said, I feel
Yeah.
like it's such a great example of you starting this up and it not taking a lot, like too much work. I feel like there's a perception that a lot of people feel starting a nonprofit or starting an
Hmm.
organization that gives back is a huge, massive time and capital commitment. But you're just like, I love
Hmm.
playing chess. I want to make an
Yeah.
impact on the environment. Let's combine these things. Let's
Yeah.
in all intents and purposes, just do that. Um, awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a great idea. So in the initial a couple of years ago when you started it, what were some of the I guess first few uh, tournaments or coaching sessions or activities that you did that helped raise that money that you used to support planting trees?
Yeah, so I think when I started Chester Trees, like what I was like the model I was inspired by was just like virtual tournaments because it was COVID. We were just coming out of like COVID. It was a virtual year, at least for school. So virtual tournaments were like pretty common. So we started with virtual chess tournaments, and like even though I had experience in like hosting, like helping host chess tournaments, I had like no experience in marketing and all these things. So I literally just like create a website, put up a tournament, and like just you know put a listing on like my local Austin like website or something, and was like
Yeah,
hoping okay I get a bunch of people, but not much happened because I guess I think about is like if you've heard of something for the first time, you're less likely to just like start playing in these tournaments, like pay $15 and do a virtual tournament like you don't know the other person on the other end. So I think I started realizing these tournaments, start realizing these small problems because I think our first three tournaments were failed tournaments. So we just didn't
mm,
have enough people to even play, like host the tournament in terms of like
yeah,
A, the prizes would cost too much, and B, just like logistically, there wouldn't be enough different combinations of players to actually like host a tournament. Um, and with those three tournaments, I just sort of like learned lessons every time of like, okay, how can I better market? How can I, you know, be a bit like, why would people choose me, like our chess club, over other virtual tournaments? And I think through these lessons, I started like, I guess like, I don't know how to say it, but like, like hammered down on our marketing basically. And then
yeah,
after
yeah,
that, we like, yeah, like I think one of my like sort of USPs were like, since I'm pretty experienced in chess, I was like, I'll analyze your games after the tournament's over for free. Um,
mm,
because I was like, I'm probably not get like 100 people the first tournament. So if it's like 10, 15 people, I could go through that like process. It won't be like too time consuming. So like with these small things, I started like I think creating that USP or like that drag for people to come and actually play in our tournaments. And then our fourth tournament was a success. I think I forgot the exact number of people who played, but we ended up um it was about 15 people or 20 people, and with like $15 entry fees, that's about $300, and then minus like the prizes of trophies and so on, we were able to plant 185 trees. And then since then
wow,
we've just been yeah, and then since then we've just been like the same thing. And then recently, I think like 2022, we started chess coaching because we thought it was like a great way for like just more money to come in and then go to trees. And second, it's just like
yeah,
at least something that's surprising. Most like hourly rate for chess coaching is like $50 ish, $50, which is quite a lot. I would say so. Since I was able to get high schoolers to coach, I was able to like reduce that fees a lot. And then
yeah,
we would yeah. So it was able to like it was an incentive for people or like parents to give coaching to their children from us. And obviously the money that came in was used for trees. So now these tournaments plus coaching are like our two like streams of like raising money in a way. And like
yeah,
all of this goes to an organization called One Tree Planted, which is basically it simplifies it for us where it's like we give them $1, they plant a tree. So
yep.
it's like it, I guess optimizes how much trees we can plant with the money we raise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you don't have to
Hmm.
worry about actual planting the trees. An organization that has kind of perfected the process of getting donations and planting trees. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. How,
Hmm.
so that was 2022 that you kind of added in the coaching aspect of the
Hmm.
fundraising. How has this past year in 2023 been? Have you been able to do tournaments and coaching as well?
Yeah, I think this year coaching has definitely brought in more like I guess money for trees. So I think what I've started noticing about tournaments is like, as it's been quite some time since we've gone away from the virtual year. Still, there's some like more virtual practices like work from home and stuff, but definitely the desire for virtual tournaments is quite low now. So that's where like transitioning to in-person events. So and that's like a much more logistically taxing process because like the
Yes.
venue, physical chessboards, then like what if there's some issue during the tournament, like you need like there's something called chess tournament directors, which are like basically official people who like know the rules. So like I'm one of them, but like most likely I need more of those types of people. So there's so many just more like logistical issues that will happen with like in-person tournaments. The biggest has been like funds, because like hosting something like this like takes some like quite some amount of money. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, so our tournaments have been like this year we've like have to cancel a couple of tournaments just because again that issue of virtual tournaments not being as desirable has happened. And chess coaching has been quite consistent in the sense like, it's like weekly you get those like lessons of coming in. So I think we've like raised probably like $1,000 ish from coaching this year,
wow,
which
yeah,
is like there's a lot more potential if we have more coaches. Like I'll give like
yeah,
a simple number which might like draw in people who are good at chess and want to help out. So like if you were to like charge like $30 an hour and have like I don't know like three students and you give like 3 hours of your time a week, and this is like you're doing something you love, I guess it's great for like your experience in like terms of like I don't know building like a resume type perspective. Like it
yeah,
has multiple benefits. Like that 3 hours is like going to give you a lot, and if I coaches for 3 hours, that's like close to $100 a week. So if I do that for like 30 weeks, 35 weeks, that's like 3,000, $3,500. Which is then 3,000 trees. So that's like that's a pretty big impact in my opinion in like a little over half a year.
yeah.
So yeah,
Wow,
so I think there's a
wow.
lot of potential. Just if there are more people who are willing to like dedicate their time, because I don't know, like I feel like obviously some people are like it's like what am I getting from this? But I feel like you're getting a lot from doing this. Like like at least in my experience, talking with parents and talking with children, like it helps increase your communication skills. Like because
Yes.
sometimes they just like at least for me like as like the person who's like helping like mainly hosting tournaments, like the emails you get from parents sometimes, or sometimes like you have to like sit there and think of how to like deal with these situations, because it's sometimes like a balance of like when you stand your ground and when you like say something's wrong or right. So like communication skills, the experience of teaching, creating those like like create lessons and stuff like that, I think like it transfers to so many different things. And I don't know. I think like a small amount of time you dedicate, like really, I think really can help you improve your own, the other things you do in life. And I think
Yeah, yeah.
the feel good aspect is definitely there. Like I still remember like when we did our first like lot of donating to One Tree Planted, it felt really good after doing that. So there's like definitely like that aspect of feel good, which is like, after you do the task, you're like, wow, this feels so good. So like if I'm a coach and I'm like able to like get 3,000 trees planted just by chess coaching in like 6 7 months, like I think that's amazing.
Yeah. That's a huge
Yeah,
impact. Yeah.
and it's like there's like so many people who want to be coached by us just because of our prices, but like the issue is there are not enough high schoolers or people willing to coach for free or like mostly
Mm,
free. And but the impact that's possible is a lot. So yeah, that's I guess sort of going into the aspect of like what you could do to join chess retreats. And I think going back to, I think you talked about how this year's been for like virtual tournaments. So I think this throughout have been like they've been canceled mostly, but like last week I was able to host one, and that's again because I think I provided that unique incentive of why play in our tournaments. So as I'm
yes.
sort of transitioning to like go to in person, expand chess retreats from like beyond just like I guess one chapter in a way. I was like like some the winners of the tournament will get to join our team like without any sort of like basically an easier entry point to join our team. And I was like, you could be featured on our website, stuff like this. And then like, I think within like 2 days, 15 people registered, and then we are able to
Wow.
host. So I think, yeah, it's like a constant battle of trying to like finding new ways to like, like
Yeah.
incentivize people to play in your tournaments, which has been fun on my part. And it's like, I think it's quite a big learning aspect too, of like, like you're learning from experiences more than like in the textbook, right? So like, it's like great for learning, like, I guess like marketing and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
How many have you been able to track over the past couple of years? Like, what is the total tree count that you guys have planted through the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I think it's rough. It's a bit over 3,000 um trees, which yeah, I think it's like it's like accelerating now. I think in the first 2 years it was like 1,500, and like this
Yep.
last like couple years it's been another 1,500, so it's like accelerating. So hopefully, next year we're able to do much more as we expand. But yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Wow. Wow. What are your hopes of the future holds? Like if you look forward another 2 years,
Yeah.
5 years, what does chess for trees look like?
hmm Yeah, the way I envision it is I know for a fact, like me, there are a bunch of like high schoolers who play chess, who are ambitious. And the reason I say play chess, I feel like there's some aspect of you need to know how to play chess or like have some experience to like for like the part of like what you love sort of thing. Like if you don't love chess, why do you want to do something called chess for trees? But I think what I envision sort of is like since now we're trying to transition to in-person events, is that we have different chapters in like all around the USA and maybe even international. But at least for now, I'm thinking of like the US of where like maybe there's like a chess retreats chapter in California, chess retreats in Texas, chess retreats in New York, and maybe even more micro level like chess retreats in San Francisco, chess retreats in LA, where basically each of these cities there's a high schooler like me who's ambitious, who wants to make an impact, and they're like spearheading the operations of like hosting tournaments in their area. So that way we could host in-person tournaments, throughout the US. Because the difference between in-person and virtual is also like the amount of the target market in a way. Like if I'm hosting an in-person tournament in Austin, I'm realistically only talking about like maybe like 200, 300 people, select kids who want to play in chess tournaments. But if I go to like a chapter in LA, a chapter in San Francisco, a chapter in New York City, like I think they expand like the amount of tournaments that can be hosted and therefore also trees planted could be quite a lot. And honestly, I feel like it just takes like one person who's ambitious and then him
Yeah.
creating a team of maybe a team of total of 5 people, and which should all be high schoolers, like at least for me it started off as me first like getting people from my friend group just so I could have more like you know more minds and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty easy to get people like um actually it's not pretty easy to get people, but like um there are ways like if you
Yeah.
like at least from like your friend group in your school, like that's like relatively easy to do that. But I think like if that happens where we have a bunch of chapters basically around the US and they're all hosting in-person tournaments, whether it just be like maybe like at their school, like they have a chess club and they're hosting like a tournament where people would like pay for like compete for prizes and therefore they have to like pay an entry fee, whether it be like $5 or whatever. I think, if that happens, I think over time it's going to lead to a much bigger number of trees being planted.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
hmm
of, yeah, exactly. How big, if that model expands, or even if you yourself keep expanding in your area,
hmm
let alone
Yeah.
like the amount of trees that you've already planted now, just
hmm
aggregating all of those trees being planted. That's huge. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, man. So calls to action for people that are listening. It sounds like
hmm
uh, you're always looking for coaches that are willing to coach
hmm
in basically for almost free just to help plant trees. You're looking
Yeah.
for high schoolers as well that are like you that maybe have a chess club or want to start a chess club or want to be a part of this expansion project.
hmm
Reach out to
Yeah.
you and talk about all the learnings you've had through the process to help
hmm
them hit the ground running even faster. And then, of course,
Yeah.
not just high schoolers, but anyone. If you have virtual or in person events, is it open to all ages as
Y-
well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yeah, we used to do like open events for, like any ages and scholastic events for, like just K to 12. But the
Mhm.
thing about the interesting thing which is a bit like which was when you're doing an open event, you commonly give cash prizes, which people would only be
Mm,
incentivized to play if it's a much higher value, like at least three
yes.
figures at least. For Scholastic, for K to 12, like a fifth grader, like if he gets a trophy, he's super happy. So because of that, because of that sort of imbalance of like how much trees are we able to plant with open events, we sort of streamlined to only
Yeah.
doing scholastic events. But like, I mean, for sure, if like it ends up happening where we like have enough people playing, like open events are where like any age, any experience is like obviously like why wouldn't we want to do that? And then I think
Yeah.
adding on to your like call to action, I think anyone who's interested in our cause wants to help out, just email us at I guess I'll just plug in our email, chessfortrees@gmail.com. But
Yeah.
I think I'll figure out a way for you to like help. Maybe you don't have experience in chess, but maybe you love like I don't know marketing. Then there's or flyer creating flyers or um I don't know, running social media, whatever it be. I feel like there's always a way for someone to make an impact. Just, I think the biggest thing is talk about what you were interested in doing, and then, I as a founder will like try to see where that like where your skill set can be used. Because, I think what I've realized in like 3 years of operations and like doing some and like getting some people on board is if the person is not doing a task that they like truly enjoy and like it incorporates their skill sets and like what they want to learn, there's just not enough like initiative on their end. And I feel like in such like organizations there has to be like a little bit of initiative on the everyone who's part of it to just like do their job, think out of the box. And yeah, so it's like as long as you're like interested in our cause and you think you could and you're like wanting to help out, just email us.
Yep.
If you don't know how to play chess, it's okay. If you don't want to host chess tournaments, that's okay. If you don't want a chess coach, that's okay. Just email us, then we can like hop on a call and we'll talk about like what your skill sets are. Um, do you have any ideas of how you want to help? And then through that, we can figure out a way to, you know, create impact for you to create impact. So I think like the door is open to anyone who wants to join. And
Yep.
obviously, if you play chess, you're a middle schooler, high schooler, has a chess club, wants to incorporate chess for trees like model. Just again, we're looking to expand and have chapters. Then, as you said, chess coaches. Like if you're interested in coaching, again, just shoot us an email at chessfortrees@gmail.com. So actually, one more thing is
Yeah.
another plugin, which is again, it goes to the idea of like any skill. There's probably a way for you to help out at Chess for Trees. Recently I started this thing called Green Pages, which is basically, again, going on the idea of taking chess beyond the board and also like more opportunities for high schoolers or not even high schoolers, maybe in middle schoolers. Is Green Pages basically like I think the tagline's like by the environment, well, actually for the environment by the youth. So basically, like writing articles about the environment, whether that be
Yep.
activism or just give information about different aspects. And we're looking for writers. And obviously this is, I know if you're like someone who's in journalism and wants to gain experience, I think this is like a perfect opportunity. So as mentioned, like any skill set you have, anything you want to like do, just shoot us an email and there's probably going to be a way for you to like pitch in and make your impact.
Wow. This is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Thank you so much for sharing kind of the progress and what you've done over the past years. So
Mm-hmm.
people that are listening, there's a way for you to help. So get engaged, reach out, whether you play
Mm-hmm.
chess or not. If you have an expertise, it sounds like Chess for Trees could definitely use you in some way. Well, great. So
Yep.
I think that covers all the main questions I had. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm going to try to do now, like off the cuff. So if this episode cuts out, it didn't work. Is send you a link here, and I am one of those
Yeah.
people who is not good at chess, but I want to take the only advantage I have right now, and that is the advantage of surprise, and send you a
Mm-hmm.
link here to play me in
Yeah.
chess. And I,
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Yeah.
if this is the right website to do it. Let me know if you got the link. It's also in your Gmail inbox. But I want to kind of
Yeah.
show off your skills right now, and then also you
Mm-hmm.
could you could tell me what I did wrong. You could tell me when I'm going to
Yeah.
lose, and I will try to last as long as I possibly
Yeah.
can against somebody
Yeah.
like you in chess. So did that link work at all, or have you ever used
Uh,
chess.org?
I personally haven't used chess.org, but I think it probably should work.
Yes. All right. What
Yeah.
happens when you click that link?
I come to like a game that's already been played.
Ah, okay. So maybe I can resend this to you. All right. Invite a
Mm-hmm.
friend, create game, game created. Now share link. So I'm going to share it in the chat here again and see what happens when you,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe it expired from the
Yeah.
last one.
Yep. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right. Now let me see if I could
Mm-hmm.
share my actual screen on the Riverside here that we're recording so people could see how fast you're able to destroy me in this. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Share screen. We're doing this off the cuff, folks. Window. Boom. All right. So here we go. I don't know who goes first. I don't know what color I am. Oh, it looks like I'm white. All right. So,
Yep.
okay. All right. Which one is the queen? That's the king. All right. Don't want to mess with that. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So talk to me about some opening moves. Like, what is your are you a defensive player or do you
Hmm.
kind of just
I
respond to who you're playing against?
yeah, I think at least when I was like, I guess in my prime, I think since high school I've not done too much with chess, but like my my like main thing was like, like tactics. I used to play pretty aggressively and just like try to like find
Yep.
tactics and like lose. But yeah, so that's sort of what how my like strategy was when I was, like super like grinding chess all the time after school. So
You're responding a lot faster for my brain to work right now.
yeah,
Oh gosh,
I
let's
mean you're
see.
playing pretty well.
I haven't lost a piece. I don't know what kind of strategy
Yeah.
I play.
Um,
I feel like I'm the type that doesn't like to lose a pawn, which is probably not a good thing. Uh, Goodness. Now what do I do? I feel like it's too early to get a queen out and play. Maybe we could start. No, don't want to do that. Oh, this is stressful. Let's see. What if I do that guy here? Oh, didn't want to do that. Aha, first blood here. Couple pieces lost.
mm-hmm.
Did I move my guy? Oh, wait, did I move
Yeah,
already?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
you moved.
Uh, this is the longest it has taken you to respond, which makes me feel like it was a good move.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't expecting you to play that, so I like took it casually, but that was a good move.
Phew. All right, let's start getting some fun here. Ah, a little defensive there. Okay. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man. Okay, what was that move that you just did? How do you switch things like that? I've seen that before, but what is it called?
It's called castle, so it's like if there's nothing between your king and your rook, which is then you could just like switch them. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and it can happen like king, like it can happen like on between both rooks. So you get like long castle or short castle. So yeah.
Okay. That's your
Uh-huh.
king. Uh, what would you say is like the number one tip that you usually give people when you're working with them
Mm-hmm.
to grow their chess game? Like somebody like me who I don't play, I haven't played in a
Yeah.
long time, but it's just
Yeah.
fun to do every now and then. Like
Mm-hmm.
what's kind of like the easiest way to improve exponentially your game?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to improve is do chess tactics, so just like solve puzzles. Um, I think sometimes like in the aspect of like, like there's no point of learning openings and things like that when you're like a little earlier on in your chess career. I think the best thing is
Hmm.
honestly just do a bunch of chess tactics or like different scenarios and you're just trying to figure out what the best move is.
Oh,
Um, I think
okay.
for that's like the best way. Like you could probably like I don't know how familiar you are with like chess ratings. Do you do you know what
Not
those
too
are?
familiar. What is that? Is that like the
Y-
like I'm a 900 chess rating or something like
Yeah,
that?
exactly. Yeah. So like for context, I'm like 1900, and
Oh,
I guess
geez.
that yeah. But if like for example you started out fresh and you're like a 200 or whatever, I feel like you could reach like to become a 1200 like pretty fast if you just do a bunch of chess tactics. And then
Mm.
after that point is when you should like start like learning about the opening, learn about the intricacies, learn about like strategy and stuff like that. But yeah,
You got me. Am I in check? I'm in
yeah,
check right now, aren't I? All
yeah.
right. I dare you to take them. So it says on the right hand what pieces I got left. Ooh, if I take that guy, you take that guy. Okay, that's not good.
Or I think the right hand side has like the pieces you've taken.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. We got to get some of my little castle guys in play here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh, and then if I take that guy, you'll take my king. Oh, crap. That was not a
Yeah.
good plan. Okay, so I'm in check. I need to move my king, ideally. Let's move him here. Oh, now your guy's going to start tearing it up. Okay, I need to get on the offensive somehow here.
Mm-hmm.
How do I beat you right now?
Um,
Am I allowed
it's
to ask that to somebody that I'm playing?
yeah. I think it's kind of hard now just because like the imbalance of pieces. Like I have
Yeah.
an extra, I have two extra pieces, right? So kind of tough.
Yep.
And then also
Unless you
you see
make
on your
some
right,
sort of mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you see on the right hand side your clock, which is like the timer, you have 3 seconds left. So once those three
Oh, I
seconds are
didn't
over, you
even realize that. I
yeah,
lose?
yeah. Once 3 seconds are over, you automatically lose. So yeah, it's
Oh,
like
crap.
kind of over at this point. But yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, that's good to know. I was wondering what that timer
Uh-huh.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make a decision. Game over. Whiteout time.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Good game.
Mm-hmm.
GG.
Yep. Yep. GG.
All right. Yes. Well, that was fun. I thought
Yep.
throwing this on you last minute was an advantage for me, but obviously not. So,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yep.
thank you so much. It's amazing what you guys are doing in chess retrieves. So people that stick with us this long, we'll share all the information in the show notes of how to get engaged and follow up. But thanks again for your time. We'll share this and share all the work that you're doing, and really honored to share your story and keep it up. You are a great example for people your age and people even older, right? So
Yeah.
people that want to make a difference. You've kind of like simplified it to a point where it's anyone can make a difference. Just figure out what you're passionate at, figure out what you're good at, the whole Ikigai process. So thank you again for your
Yeah.
time. Honored to share your story, and thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this platform so I could like speak my ideas, and it's great. I think greater than 0% is like a great initiative because at least as like a founder of a nonprofit, like sometimes there's that like sort of, I guess not, maybe not insecurity, but that thought process of I barely made any impact. I've only done this amount of trees or so on. But I think the whole idea or motto of anything that's any impact is good impact, like regardless of how
Yes.
big or small it is. I think that's a great thing, and I think that remove that whole thought process if everyone like sort of embodies it of like it doesn't have to be like to fix the whole world. As long
Yeah.
even like if you plant even if you planted 100 trees or maybe in 10 trees, that's already like a significant contribution, which like
Yes.
you should be proud of, and it's greater than zero impact or it's greater than 0% impact. So for sure,
Yeah.
yeah,
Preach. I love it. I don't
hmm
even have to do our preaching. So that's great.
yeah,
Awesome.
hmm
Raghav, thank you so much. Great work.
yep,
And we're excited to share the work that you're doing. Thanks again for kicking my butt,
yep.
on this interview too.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you.